welcome to Beyond the Book podcast series by the International Council of Malaysian Scholars, or ICMS. I'm Jashan, the 15th Council Policy and Strategy Divisional Director from the Malaysia chapter. ICMS is a long-standing dynamic Malaysian student organization with a robust presence across 6 chapters worldwide, including Malaysia, Singapore, Australia, Hong Kong, the United Kingdom, and North America. Each chapter serves as a hub for passionate and driven Malaysian students, fostering a global network of talented individuals committed to making a positive impact, upholding our 3 core values: building networks, empowering leaders, and realizing ideas. This series aims to guide students into their dream role in their respective industry. Whether you are new to the industry or already have some experience, this is the right place to gain the latest insight. So this is the Journey to Data-Driven Decision episode. I'm really looking forward to today's exciting conversation. Together with me, I have Chen-Yun and Eileen, who are the industry experts joining us to share their invaluable knowledge with our audience. Before we kickstart, let us have Chen-Yun and Eileen to introduce themselves. Let us start with Chen-Yun and followed by Eileen.
Okay, and thanks, Jiaxuan. My name is Qian Yun, or you can call me QY for short. Yeah, and I'm currently a senior data analyst in Shopee Malaysia. In university, I studied actuarial science actually in Summer University, but I've never worked a day in insurance or banking. Yeah, my first job until now is all in Shopee. I did my internship in Shopee in project management, continued as a full-time in Shopee as well, in project management as well. And recently I made the career switch to data analytics around last year, December. Yeah, and in the free time, I also do some academic research and publish papers as well. Yeah, over to you, Elaine.
That's so cool. Okay, thank you, Jashan, for the introduction and inviting us on this podcast. So my name is Elaine. I am a senior data scientist currently in Bolttech. It's an insurtech company. So it's interesting how you study actuarial science, right, Qian Yun, and you weren't in the insurance industry. I didn't do in actuarial science, so I didn't do any insurance specific domain related courses in my university. I actually did economics and mathematics in my university, and I did it in the States back in UC of Washington, Seattle. So yeah, I think as and when we go along this podcast, we can learn from our insights, and I'll share our experience a little bit to talk about our journey, right? But just to elaborate a little bit more is before joining Bolttech, I was actually in Petronas and oil and gas industry. So you can see how my academic background or being in economics and having studied economics and mathematics, pretty much we can also be in different industry as a data scientist. So
yeah, thank you, Chen-Yun and Eileen. So it's kind of like we know that what we study in university might not really be the thing that we do after we enter workplace, right? So actually, when I first knew about data analyst or data scientist, I thought that this position are for people who study data science or computer science. But after I get to know more people in the field, I found that they are actually coming from very diverse background, like Chen-Yun studied actuarial science in university and Eileen studied maths and economics for her degree. So to kickstart our episode today, maybe we can look back at how 2 of you started and how you came this far. So the first question will be, can you walk us through your career path and the key turning point that you feel helped to share your success? For this question, can we start with Eileen?
Yeah, sure. So my career path is interesting actually. So I chose, and this is gonna be like a little bit why I chose data science also. So actually, when I did my degree in economics and mathematics, I was actually sponsored by Petronas to pursue a degree in just economics. But having said that, when I was studying in the States, actually, this is also one of the turning point why I eventually pivoted from kind of added on mathematics to supplement my economics degree is when I did a course in in economics, I had this professor who was working in Amazon as a chief economist, and he was talking all about the algorithms that Amazon is working to recommend products to their users, and how also Netflix are doing a lot of recommendation engine to build custom profiles, right? To recommend you all the movies and um they do a lot of algorithm to profile similar profiles and then recommend what other people of the same profile liked in the past, and then they will recommend it to you if they find similarities in it. So he was giving a lot of examples on those real life application, and I find it very intriguing. And I actually stayed back after the class to ask, hey, Professor Greg, what is it that we need to study so that we can be in this field to eventually building all this algorithm or looking at all these statistics or data. So that's when I knew in the States back then, before in Malaysia, people start to talk about data science or data analytics, right? That was very, very long time ago, like 10 years ago, that in the States, people are already looking into these things, this research, operation research or data science, and apparently to break into this field, people recommend to have a very strong foundation in mathematics or statistics. So that's when kind of it shaped my academic journey, right? Where even though I was sponsored to do economics only, I added on mathematics just so I can have a stronger foundation in that. So that was when I picked up in the States, you can actually do mix and match just so you can have a 2 degree or 2 majors and you graduate within the same amount of time as long as you fulfill the credits. So I further to research a little bit about this field. So eventually, just because my professor has shared the real life application, and I thought this is something I want to venture into. So I took on mathematics and graduated with it. And when I was sponsored with Petronas, you have to come back to serve Petronas bond. Being sponsored to do economics, actually the scope for Petronas is kind of limited. You can't be engineer. That's a given. You cannot be engineer having an economics degree, right? But fortunately, that time, Petronas is onboarded on a very big digital transformation. So I also took the initiative of being proactive to reach out to the chief data officer and kind of look into the possibility of me being placed under the data science department, and they were growing that time. So I would say these are a few of the key turning points to where how it helped me to land in data science field. And after that, after being in the data science field, obviously there were a lot of things that I wanted to try and explore. So being involved in multiple projects and being involved in one of the biggest projects that I saw a lot of value, also is another key turning point. We can talk more about it as the chance come up. But yeah, basically this is my career path now, and this is how I've landed in data science.
Oh, it's interesting. So I always admire how the education system in overseas has this kind of flexibility. Because
Yes.
when you first started a degree in economics, you'll never know that there's a professor who is studying something related to data science that interests you, and finally help you to gain a double major in maths also, and
Yeah.
also help you to like kind of lead you into a position in data science. Yeah. How about you, Chen?
Yeah, so Elaine mentioned that her realization and turning point was in at university, while for me, actually, it was during when I started working. So I started my career in like project management in business development team in Shopee Malaysia, right after I graduated after actuarial science. So that time I was doing like projects and initiatives to grow the sellers on Shopee. Yeah, but once I began working full time, I also realized that I was actually more interested in the data analysis part behind the decision making than the project execution itself. Yeah, so I actually enjoyed doing the research, doing like translating the raw data into like insights more than actually running the project itself. So that's actually the key turning point for me. Like that realization made me realize that I want to do something more towards data than actually projects. So in my first year of working, I began to self-learn SQL, analytics, Python tools on the side. Just some consistency, like during weekends after work, I start learning by myself, and eventually I made like an internal transfer in my current company to the data analytics team. Which marked like a major career shift for me because I was like from the business development side and now I'm fully transitioned into the analytics side in my company. Yeah, and since then I've been focusing on developing like deeper analytical skills and also applying them to solve business problems in the company. Yeah.
Oh, cool. I always heard people saying that career is a marathon, not a sprint, but Chenyu really showed that career is a marathon. So whenever you feel like you want to switch the path, you always can do it as long as you have the qualification that the position want, and you find out that what you are more interested in or more passionate working about when you want to switch your career into another role. So now I know that actually uh like both like all of us, we are not coming from a traditional data background, but also there are a lot of people who are looking to break into the field. So how can fresh grad or career switchers stand out if they don't have a data related degree? I think Chen you can take this question first.
Yeah, regarding this question, I can like definitely relate to this question because I didn't really come from a computer science or data science degree myself. So in actual science, we don't really do much on the coding part. We only learn mostly on Excel and R programming. While in my current role, we usually deal with SQL and Python. So in the technical skills wise, is a bit different. Yeah, so I will share a few tips for fresh grad or if like people who have been in the industry and want to do like a career switch. I think in terms of technical wise, it's really getting comfortable with the technical tools. For example, like SQL, Excel, like Python, Power BI. It really depends on the role that you're applying to and what kind of technical skills that you the role requires. And yeah, and in the interview process, there's always technical tests like live coding or maybe a take-home exam to do analysis. So I would really advise like students and also people who want to switch their career to technical paths. You really need to be able to handle some basic coding challenges, even if you're not coming from the background. And I think it's also important to do some self-learning and also have some projects to showcase, because in the real life situation, the projects that you do should be really reflecting the real business problems. For example, if you're applying for a sales or marketing analytics role in like e-commerce, um, I would recommend students to analyze data sets related to this field and also look at different things like customer segments and so purchasing behavior or maybe campaign results and to have the thought process and the critical thinking to know what kind of analysis and what kind of findings that you would be presenting to your boss or to the campaign lead. So I think it's really important to have the technical skills and really practice it hands on so that you will have the ability to be able to really work on the real life problems when you go into the industry. Yeah.
Mm.
And I think in terms of soft skills, is really if for example your previous job wasn't from data, you can still really emphasize your transferable skills in your interview. Like for example, last time I was in project management, I learned how to like work with different stakeholders, like manage tight timelines, and there's also problem solving. And yeah, these skills are really valuable still in analytics because you still collaborate with people and you still have to like solve business problems together, but you're more towards the technical side and also giving some insights and recommendations to the business team. Yeah. And lastly, is just to really communicate your passion to your interviewers, and also just make sure that you are really sure, really sure, and genuinely have the passion about data. So you can, when you're in the interview, you really show the passion you have for the field. Yeah, and that will help you set you apart from other candidates. Yeah.
I love that, Chen Yun. I think you have touched on the majority. You have touched on actually all the points that a recruiter or someone who might be interested to, get a fresh grad to come on board. Because so this is my experience currently. Now we do we do recruit for fresh grads or interns actually. So the points that you have mentioned about being in technical, having technical skills is one, and all the transferable skills, just highlighting that you have a passion is also critical during your interview process. So like I just want to mention, right, if a person do not have any data related degree, I think in this era right now where you have access to literally online access to all the resources during joining females in tech, having all the attending upskilling opportunities, or getting a certification, it's not hard anymore. So being clear about where exactly you want to try out and having that kind of certification that might help you to jumpstart a little bit, give a little bit of confidence that, hey, I'm serious about this. That's why I've taken the extra step to gain this extra technical skill. That's important. Now, moving forward, right, I think having the technical skill is like a minimum requirement that will help you to just pass the initial screening. So just put in your CV, right? You have all these basic coding skills. That's fine. But more so, I think moving forward, when it comes to coding assessment during interview, right, there might be a small possibility that it's really much less on the actual syntax coding, having to know like exactly what clause to use in your SQL statement, or exactly to use whether to do npwhere or like just .lc in your data science Python test. It's more on testing your logical thinking process and critical thinking skills. And typically it can be split into few things, right? They can ask you a very data structure problem and not necessarily ask you to code out, but they want you to solve the problem. So recently how I also test whether people able to think logically is giving them puzzle questions. Something like if you have a ball and a bat, and it costs how much, 100 ringgit or $100. Now, if I tell you that the ball is more than the bat is more than the ball by 10 ringgit, how do you solve this question? So ability to verbalize your thought process, that is something that will help the interviewer gain some confidence that, okay, when I throw you any problems, at least you have a certain ABC to look into the problem. Doesn't matter if you land a solution, but actually the thought process is there. So a lot of the coding questions or a lot of the situational assessments in the future can really test this kind of thinking process. And I'll give you an example where the candidate stands out to me is they are quite clear on what they want. That's one. And they are really passionate about whenever I give them a problem, right? They will say, okay, give me 1 or 2 minutes. They'll ask follow-up questions to clarify my question. And then they will say, okay, give me 1 to 2 minutes to think about the solution or to map out what I'm thinking. And after the 2 minutes, they really think from their point of view, right? Even though they do not have the domain knowledge, they didn't have the kind of sales and marketing background, they would have thought about all angles to the best of their ability and to come up with the proposal, like a case study like that. So these are like the soft skills or the thinking skills that really stand out to me when I was trying to hire. So these are a few things on top of what Chen Yun already perfectly mentioned.
I see. So to summarize, if you want to interview for a technical role, it is a must for you to have a technical basis like mastering the programming language. If you are not from a data related degree, so for sure you can take on the certificate because we know that there are quite a lot of opportunity nowadays which provide free certification, and also you can learn from YouTube. And also soft skill is also a must. I mean, sorry, it's not a must, but it will be a plus for you. For example, like what Eileen mentioned just now, the candidate is have a clear thought of process on what is going on the question that being asked by the interviewer. And also lastly, if you show your passion, the interviewer is more willing to hire you, like Eileen.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Passion and enthusiasm. You
yeah,
show that you
because
really want it.
yes, because at the end you still need to do this job. I mean, the task like
Yeah.
5 days a week. So for sure, I mean, it's better for you to have passionate in the role that you want to be. So now, actually, apart from the certification and online courses that we can learn to improve ourselves to get the data related role we want, I also see a lot of people doing portfolio, like they post their project on GitHub and they put the link or build a website to post all of their portfolio to show what kind of skill they have. So can each of you share like what project would you recommend students do in order to prepare for a career in data science or data analyst? Maybe Eileen, will you want to start first?
Sure. I think having a portfolio online that's visible to people is definitely a plus point at this age. At this competitive area, in this competitive space, right? So definitely building a portfolio, and for data science, I remember last time I was using a lot of like interactive dashboarding style just to showcase an end product. So it's a bit double edged, not say double edged sword, but um data science is very broad. It covers all the way from data cleaning all until processing, and then you do your modeling, primarily modeling, trying to improve your accuracy. And if you get a real chance, then obviously you would um, frame it in such a way that business can see the output in a visually pleasant manner. So then you have actually a dashboard that allows people to look at your recommendations or your proposed visualization, even if it's just a descriptive, it ends at descriptive. So we want to, from descriptive, data scientists probably should think further to look at prescriptive. Now you have this kind of scenario, what do you eventually want to propose as a solution? Because business or end users might not just want to see at the charts. They want, okay, what do I do then with this chart? So it's a very broad space. It depends what kind of portfolio you want to build around this entire data science pipeline, right? But obviously, if you are really serious about showcasing, uh, having no data related background, building a small project that allows you to showcase your thought process all the way until, hey, actually, I've built this dashboard that allows me to answer this problem statement. That would be actually good enough to spin up a discussion during the interview process. So I would say pick a topic that is you are of interest. And if you really want to build a model around it, make sure that there's data available online. So last time, before I even started my data science journey, I was interested in coffee, but I didn't find too much data on there is, but I think I couldn't scrap too much data online. So what I did instead was I downloaded all my bank statements and I tried to build a simple dashboard for my own view, and just to see the power of I was using a Plotly Express, or yeah, it was just a very simple Plotly Express, and I didn't know all these things before being in Petronas, right? So that's why it was more of, I was interested to come up with a descriptive analytics. Then I have a problem statement. That means I was curious how much I was spending or how much I was saving on a monthly basis. So I downloaded, in a very manual way, I downloaded all my bank statements in every month. And I tried to put it in my folder and then ingest it and then come up with a Python script that does that. So now if you ask me, did the recruiter, or would the recruiter ever ask whether you have a portfolio? It's possible if you list it down. And when we look at the CV, it is a plus point if you say, okay, this is my GitHub link, and then you have a lot of contributions in a GitHub repository. And if you're lucky enough, pick up one or two projects to start talking about that project that you worked on, that is just going to help you progress in the direction that you want, right, during the interview process, because you are so familiar with what you have worked on already and you are so passionate, and that's just gonna show the best side of you, and give an example, a taste on how you might work when you are in the workforce, and that's just gonna give more confidence to the recruiter.
Yeah, that's true, because I also agree with Elaine's point, which is choose the topic that you are interested with. Because in past, when there's a time when I want to attend an interview and I want to talk about the experience of me using Power BI, I only have a very little experience because I only use Power BI during my internship, and then I am no longer have access for my previous Power BI dashboard. So I totally don't remember any data or what kind of feature I've used in that dashboard. So I just go to online and search for a video that I can try to view out on the Power BI and using the data that provided by the YouTuber. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, during that time, I actually have a hard time because I found that some of the YouTuber, they are working on data set like finance or something like healthcare, which I totally don't have the domain knowledge with. So when they come up with the specific terms, I totally don't know what are the things that they're talking about. So I end up building another dashboard that is talking about something like employment, about data analysts and data scientists, because these are the things that I only know when you compare to healthcare and finance. Yeah.
And like the good part about doing something you're interested in is, when you have that curiosity, right? And this is what I think data analysts can relate to also, but primarily data scientists, when we do this thing called feature engineer, or just coming up, brainstorming on the features that actually would matter in a predicting an outcome, right? It's a lot of thinking and it's a lot of exploring and hypothesis testing. So just being interested in the subject when you have zero background knowledge about algorithms, that would help you think in a certain way that will help you dig more, explore more about, okay, if I do this, what's going to happen? If I include this feature, what if I look at the market data? What if I look at the car value? What if I look at the inflation rate? What if I look at this and that? So then these questions will come in and you will start to find it more and more interesting. Okay, you are just going to test one hypothesis out and then test the other and test the other. It's just never ending. And it's fun.
Yeah, true. How about you, Tianyin? Do you have any recommendation for the audience?
Yeah, I really agree with what Elaine said. Like having projects in like GitHub or Kaggle is really a plus point for your interview process and showcasing your work to the employers. And yeah, really, really important that you have the interest and passion to do it. Otherwise, you might not have the consistency. Like you do halfway and you might just give up. Yeah, so I think having the interest in doing these projects really help. Yeah, and I think from an analytics standpoint, I would say two kinds of projects. One is more towards the analytics side, which is, for example, analyzing data sets, like looking at different metrics. Like for example, if it's like a product or maybe an app usage, maybe you can look at the explore the user engagement part, like where do the users drop off and what features do they use most, and this will actually help you to have the kind of mindset to think why to find out why do the users drop off and prompt you to have go even deeper to the data set to see what kinds of findings you can get, and also what kind of what kind of proposals do you want to propose based on the findings. Because in the interviews, right, we do have live coding, and also at the same time we do have some questions related to the qualitative part, which is proposing some steps for like campaigns or maybe for an app. So this is also very important. So by doing these projects, you will have these soft skills and also know how to present your findings in a clearer way for the interviewers to understand. Yeah. And another part of analytics, I would say, is the dashboard part, because we work closely with a lot of stakeholders. So I think as for students or people who want to switch their careers into data analytics, I would recommend to do dashboards. So for example, I'm in e-commerce. We usually do a lot of dashboards, for example, to show metrics like delivery time and then fulfillment rates. You can just use any tool. Like it can be very basic from Excel, or if you want to do Power BI or even using Python to do it. It doesn't really matter the tool, but it's really being able to think about what a stakeholder would want to see
Yep.
in the dashboard. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what kind of tool you use, but it's really on the outcome of whether the stakeholder can understand it at one glance. Yeah, so by doing these projects like dashboarding, and also understanding, having the critical thinking to think about what kind of things that you need to include, because we do have a lot of metrics, for example. So having this critical thinking to know what kind of things that stakeholder will want to prioritize and see will really help in your the future job or interviews as well.
I agree.
Okay, I see. So actually, during our discussion just now, I also found another problem, which is regarding the domain knowledge. For example, when Chen want to give example just now, she gives example like delivery time, which are commonly used in e-commerce, because yeah, that's what e-commerce is dealing with most of the time. So do you two think that it's essential for data analysts or data scientists to choose a specific industry, such as e-commerce, banking, or fintech? Because, like, for example, when you first join, for example, we take Chen as an example, like Chen is now in Shopee. So I think it would be easier for Chen to join Lazada instead of company like Maybank, because she already have the knowledge in e-commerce instead of the knowledge in banking. So what do you all think? Chen, you can start first.
Okay, for me, I think while it can be beneficial to specialize, but for me personally, I don't think it's like a hard requirement for students or people who have been working to really specialize in one industry. But if you do have a very strong interest in like in a particular industry, yeah, it definitely can be a good way to build your deep knowledge in that specific industry, and it will help you to be able to go to similar companies in the same industry. But I think as a data analyst, you can also find like a success through applying your analytical skills across like different sectors. Yeah, because I think like analytical skills like working with the technical programming, as well as like the ability to communicate and also interpret data, can really be transferable across different industries. Yeah, the metrics part, I do have a lot of colleagues coming from different industries. They were data analysts from, for example, different companies and they are maybe not from the e-commerce industry, maybe at the start it would be a bit you need some time and also need some adjustment to the business knowledge in the industry. But I do observe that their mindset as well as their analytical skills really do help. Like if they are firstly if they are very passionate when they come in as when they are very passionate, they do you can see that they are really interested in learning and this really it's not really defined by whether or you come from this industry or the other industry. It's really about whether you are willing to learn. So if you're willing to learn, I guess if you go to any other industries, it really doesn't it's not really something that you have to be from that industry in order to go to another company in the same industry. Yeah. And if you are really a strong analyst, you can really pivot from one sector to another one easily. Yeah. Because in the business world, most of the businesses all face similar challenges. So the skills that you build in one company can definitely be transferable to the other. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I echo with that quite a bit. For data science, and I always pitch this one. If you have if you have already a domain knowledge to begin with, is definitely to your advantage if you pivot into a technical role or being in tech afterwards. So let's say you started as an engineer. Actually, if you can pick up coding skills, and you apply for a data science job in the engineering industry, that would help you stand out way better than a person who do not have engineering and come out as a data scientist straight away and be in engineering. I'm just saying in based on my experience. So in data science field, I always preach this thing, right, that it always comprises your domain knowledge, your engineering skills, your coding skills, and then your statistics and your mathematics skills. So these three things, it's co-independent. You cannot miss out either of this for you to be a good data scientist. To be a great data scientist is what I'll touch later, and it's relevant to what Qian Yu said. It's all about the soft and transferable skills, right? So for you to start, whether you need to choose a specific industry, of course, choosing some industry that you have initial passion or initial interest in will help you kickstart your data science or data analytics journey, because it's just going to test you whether we really like this data science or data analytics, right? But does it matter in the long run where you have to stick in this industry? Is less likely the answer is yes, because skills are quite transferable. That's one. And for you to gain actually it's much more advisable maybe for us to explore different areas, different domains in the beginning of our journey. Then once you know which ones that you really want to go deeper into and have really strong passion in, and you want to build the kind of core and domain knowledge around, right? Then you go deep into your your banking, your e-commerce, your oil and gas. I have friends who are still continue on even though they are not engineering degree, they were informatics, for example. They started in Petronas. They still continue to be in the oil and gas industry. That's also possible because that's what they like to do. But for me, it was time for me to explore a different industry. That's why I changed. Now, did I feel like it's something entirely different than my oil and gas industry? Of course, the problem statements are all different. Previously, I was looking at sensor data. Now I'm looking at marketing data, my sales data. Now all the terms that I'm using is totally different. I don't talk about pressure, temperature. I don't talk about valve opening. Now I talk about attachment rates, sell rates, click rates, something that when I have to talk to business, it obviously was a shock to me. But having the ability to adapt fast, to learn fast, to be open-minded, to learn about new things, that helped me to continue to learn and continue to actually being successful in, not to say successful, but actually continue in this field, right? So now, having the domain knowledge is going to help you do a good job in during your data science or analytics process. But can you learn the domain knowledge along the way? Yes, 100%. And you also need to cultivate the kind of environment where you can learn from the experts in the industry itself, right? Like I say e-commerce, you have to really learn from the salespeople, the product people. And for insurance also, learn from their experience so that you can apply, be a better data analyst or data scientist. But for you to be really, really great data scientist, you have to be extremely passionate and curious about the things that you are solving. So that's the kind of soft skills and having the critical thinking skill that Qian Yin was saying, right? Just think when we approach a problem, just think from multiple angles, and then you will see how that's going to help shape the answers in a better way, and train yourself to think a bit faster, the next time a bit faster, the next time a bit more faster. So this, as and when we go along, and I'm saying this is we are all still growing, we are all still learning, right? The experience will help. The kind of failures the kind of reflection when you think about, oh, I think I didn't do this quite well, but let's do it better next time. So these things will help along the way, and for you to be a greater and greater data scientist or data analyst. Yeah.
Okay, I see. So it all depends on people whether they would prefer to stay in the same industry, or they are more adventurous and they want to explore more industry. But for you to be great, you still need to master soft skills like analytical thinking, or to know how to communicate with your stakeholder and your colleague to present your work. And also, it's very important for you to have passion to work to what you are doing, so that you can continuously doing your job. Yeah. So like what we talk about. So I think there's some background noise. Can we stop for a moment?
You correctly summarized it though, Jiaxuan. I think one thing that we forgot to highlight, Chen Yin highlighted, was the communication with stakeholder. I think that's extremely, extremely important. And yeah.
Sorry, I'm back. Actually, do you guys find the background noise just now loud, or is it still acceptable? Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. So let us continue. So, like what we say just now, we still need to continuously learning new things, like new knowledge, talk with our colleague to learn about the domain knowledge, right? So can you all share like what learning resources or skill help you grow as a data analyst or data scientist? Of course, it would be great if you guys would like to share how you learn the domain knowledge from anywhere.
Do I start first or?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Okay. I will do a quick one because I feel like my answers are super long-winded for some reason. Okay. For me, in the beginning, I did a lot of Coursera. I get myself, but I think things are changing now. But I'll tell about my journey. So, I did a lot of Coursera courses when I started, just to make sure that I'm on the right track. Like being a data scientist, I should know about all these models, these basic algorithms, and a little bit of mathematics behind these algorithms, linear regression, XGBoost, all these things I needed to know and I wanted to know. So, and these things sometimes they don't teach in universities. So I went deep in Coursera, find all the possible courses that I was interested in, completed them. That helped me gain a little bit of confidence that okay, data science is something I really, really want to explore. Let's continue. And sooner or later, I think just understanding algorithm is not good enough. When it comes to deployment, that's something also that we needed to understand. So obviously there's these three big, right? Microsoft, Google, and Amazon, and down there's Alibaba and all that. But slowly trying to gain certificates that will help you to deploy your solution, deploy your microservice as a independent or as a full stack data scientist will help. So exploring like taking up machine learning engineer or Kubernetes or AWS AI certifications. All these will are what I do after my entire Coursera phases. So yeah, pick and choose. I think depends where it exactly depends where you are in your entire career, and you just need to continue to upskill yourself. I wouldn't demean or downplay the advantage of following influential or following technical people on LinkedIn. That's where also they share the resources that are useful for them or the industry trends that we need to keep an eye out. So that's also what I do.
So how about you, Chen?
Yeah, for me, I think I will split into two. One is a technical skill and also one is a soft skills part. For technical skills, I mainly also like Elaine, I rely a lot on online courses. I did like courses on platforms such as like DataCamp, the standard ones like Learn SQL, Khan Academy, etc. And all these really help. So for me, I like to try out like different courses from different websites to see which one fits my learning style the best because everyone learns differently, and also some people prefer more on the visual, some people like audio like lectures. So I would say it's good to experiment and also find which websites actually work for you. Yeah, and for me, I also believe that just watching like lectures or reading notes isn't enough. So usually I will pick up a few new concepts, and then I would go and try them out on like platforms such as like LeetCode, HackerRank, also the standard ones for like interview practice questions, because this one will really mimic the real life interview questions. So this hands-on practice have really helped me reinforce what I learned. So it's like doing learning new concept and then practicing it immediately. Yeah. And on the soft skills side, I would say for me, I actually a lot of my growth came from just working closely with my teammates, my stakeholders, and also my managers. So like watching how all these experienced people in my company and the team leads, how they present their work, how they ask questions, or even handle like very difficult feedback, taught me things that I couldn't get from online courses because it's like on the spot kind of training. Yeah. And actually really like more on like communicating clearly with like the stakeholders, especially focusing on what's behind the data was something that I continuously work on, even currently as I grow in my career, and collaborating with the different teams as well. So help me to see like the bigger picture of the whole company, the whole organization, and make sure that my work was helpful to them. Yeah. So to summarize, I would say in terms of soft skills, just being curious, like asking questions, and so staying open to feedback, really will accelerate your learning.
Yeah, true. So when it comes to work, apart from your technical skill, it's also important for you to have other soft skill or to learn the thing related to your job from your colleague, and so on. So, actually, from my own experience, I also see a lot of my colleagues, even though they have been working like 7 to 10 years, they still like asking a lot of questions like how this KPI comes or like how we can do this, and they still keep on learning from each other to help each other grow and learn new things in every day. So, and we know that actually we might learn some new tools. For example, we know when now we want to upgrade the ERP system and you need to learn the new thing, right? So, may I know if you two learn new tools frequently? And if yes, how do you balance work and continuous learning?
Maybe
Okay.
I can share first. Yeah. Okay, I think I'll share a bit on how I just balance work and continuous learning. So for me, sometimes like after work or maybe weekends, I would just take up some online courses. I just continue doing some online courses, but maybe now I don't really do much on technical side, but I just continue to learn more on the industry trends like AI and also some machine learning related technologies. Because yeah, the current field of data is just constantly evolving. Like there's a lot of new things coming up um, every now and then. So I think it's important to just stay up to the current trends. Yeah, you can just do some online courses, reading some articles. Yeah, and I also agree with Elaine, like following the influential LinkedIn people. Yeah, it's really just when you open your LinkedIn, you can just see all the new trends and then their sharings about the latest trends. Yeah. So and then I think in terms of also in your work, I think it's just really being strategic about what you focus on. Like just continue to just prioritize the tools or techniques that align with your current job or even your future goals. So that way you feel that learning things is interesting and also you can apply it in your job. Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, I think I've said this in the event that Jiashen you attended also back in Microsoft Office, right? I think work-life balance or uh would eventually be replaced or better rephrased as work-life integration sooner or later. So especially in this digital world, and if you are in the tech industry, sometimes you also have the luxury of working from home already these days, right? So working from home is like quite uh elaborate. It's an elaboration of, I think, work-life integration. It's not like you are going to office, once you close the laptop, you are off work. It's more like if you are given the flexibility of working from home, you know you will deliver at the end of the day, right? And maybe sometimes you just need to open your laptop for 30 minutes at from 8 to 8:30. It depends on where you're at or what you do at the end. When it comes to continuous learning, I think it's a journey, it's a marathon here, right? So as soon as you feel like you're exhausted from really working or like just talking about AI, talking about data, you can afford a few hours of time off, just switch off and do what you actually love. Baking, we are all humans, right? So this is where even we talk about work-life balance is also part of work-life integration, where you consciously take care of what you are thinking, how you are feeling. So at some point, um, continuous learning is something that is guaranteed. You will lose, or you not to say you'll lose, but you will need to keep up with the industry trends moving forward. So if there's a way that you can integrate your social media life, like using LinkedIn, right, and still continue to learn, that's also something that you can keep yourself updated still and not feel exhausted, not feel like you are working in a way, but actually you are still kind of working, but for yourself, right? Because it's your journey, your career at the end of the day. Think of it like you're not really upskilling for the company, you're upskilling for yourself. So when you change the mindset a little bit there, then it doesn't really feel like you're working in a way. You're just upskilling. And at the end, when it comes to task delivery, like your work, if you really need to draw a line, you have to draw a line. Just so you feel you are mentally sane and you're continue in a long journey, right? So depends what we are talking about. Learning new tools think of it as learning for yourself, I don't think it's going to be something related to work then. So then you will have the clarity, the motivation to continue to learn along the way. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with Elaine's point, which is instead of thinking that you are upskilling for the company, thinking that you are upskilling for yourself.
Yeah.
Because for example, now we have Gen AI, right? We have ChatGPT. Even the 15 or 16-year-old CEO, they were still going to learn about Gen AI. Yeah. But is it they learn the Gen AI just for the company? Not because of course we can use Gen AI to help us in our daily life also. For example, yeah, you can ask ChatGPT to help you calculate how much expenses you spend this month. Yeah, if you trust its math. Yeah. So uh I think like continuous learning is not only about the job but also about we as a human being, we still continuously learning new things. So next I would want to like understand two of you a bit more. Like how do you approach setback or potential failure in your workplace? And what is your mindset like?
Potential setbacks and failures at workplace.
Yeah.
That's a very loaded question, Chen. You want to take that up first?
Okay, yeah, sure. I think it's really on the mindset, like thinking of setbacks or potential failures like as an opportunity to grow instead of being discouraged. Yeah. I think I can share a bit on the kind of setbacks or failures that one will face in data analytics. I think one is a technical roadblock. Sometimes it's like just yeah, you can write like a very a script that you know that you can run, but there's potential like okay the query is just too heavy to run. You just click no matter how hard you run, it just says on it's out of memory. Yeah, this is something that we always face on a day-to-day basis. And sometimes it's really like sometimes it's just like you're just so close to completing your task already, but you're just stuck at that like that part where you cannot get the data out when you know that your script is all like correct. Yeah, sometimes just it's just for this kind of issues, you just have to take a step back and stay calm. Yeah, to see how we can further optimize our script, further optimize the way that we approach this problem, and break it down into like small parts to test one by one. Yeah, and I think it's also very important to ask for help. Sometimes like you know you have blind spots. Yeah, I have also faced it like you just keep on trying, but you just cannot get the output you want, or maybe it's sometimes there's some issues with your code. So I think it's really important to know how to ask for help, how to just say, hey, I think I can't really do this. I can't really get the output I want. Do you have any suggestions? Maybe your colleagues around you might have faced this similar problem before, and they can help you. They can advise you on how to do it. Yeah, and I think once you have resolved it, you just take it as a learning curve and just document it down. So next time you know when you face this kind of issues, you roughly know how to handle it, and you won't really have this issue anymore next time. Yeah, and in terms of working with people, yeah, I think firstly in a tech company like Shopee, you have like multiple requests or deadlines. Uh, like there's so many things to do. Like how do you want to prioritize your work? Yeah, so it's sometimes maybe you have like 5 or 6 tasks in a day, and everyone is telling you that can you get my task out faster? Yeah, it's trying to like uh there's like everything's like PO lah, P0, like everything's like the highest priority. So this kind of things sometimes is really you have to really just stay calm, stay focused, and breaking the task down into like smaller and manageable tasks, and just prioritize the task based on the business impact. Yeah. And also, yeah, another thing is just asking for help if you really, really cannot. Like, there's so many things that are all very urgent, and everyone needs it by the same day. It's really just collaborating with your teammates to like share the workload to ensure all the deadlines are met. Yeah. And when you communicate the things the things that you have done to your non-technical stakeholders, yeah, sometimes when you've already shared them very clearly, but sometimes they just can't seem to understand. Like they just keep on asking you the questions, and sometimes it's very frustrating because it's like very easy. You already have shared them everything, and you have tried to also present to them everything, but sometimes they just keep coming back to you and just keep on asking you why what is this? What does this mean? Yeah. So I think it's just taking a step back also to think from their perspective on why would they ask this kind of question, and just really think through how you can further simplify your analysis into like clear and also actionable insights to them. Yeah. And I think it's just continuously asking for feedback from them to see where else you can improve. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like all of the points that Chen just touched on, breaking it down into the potential setbacks in technical viewpoint and also non-technical, right? That's also very relatable to me. So in a technical sense, I think to summarize, right, like I mean, the same thing that I can face is sometimes I just get stuck that the model performance is just not improving. However much that I try to be creative around the solution, trying out different ways of cutting the data set, trying out different ways of identifying which are the clean data set to look at, and to generate more features from the base features, just so that I can improve performance, right? Sometimes it's just not working, and knowing when to get help is one thing, but some things that I learned is my personality, right? I want to figure it out until I really, really, really cannot. But at the same time, I have to be realistic that, okay, if there's a potential upcoming failure, this needs to be communicated upwards, and cannot means cannot. So I have to, after all these years of working, it's just me trying to find out exactly when is this point where I need to give up a little bit on my, never-ending ego and really escalate it upwards when it comes to approaching potential, estimating or predicting that there's going to be a potential failure. Right? So I think this is very important for you to identify as you progress in your entire career journey, is also things like this. Like exactly when is it that you need to escalate your issue? You need to share that you actually face a problem so that there's no so that you minimize the impact to across all stakeholders or across the delivery timeline, things like this. So so that technical problem is the same thing when it comes to non-technical. It could be that you are not communicating. The non-technical business stakeholder is just really not understanding the points that you're trying to put across. So sometimes it's understanding that the point is not on you anymore. It's maybe something you need to get a bit more feedback about what else you can do after saying 2-3 times. Now 2-3 times, this is something that, based on my experience, 2-3 times is my limit already. So after 2-3 times I cannot, that means I need to escalate it to someone else. I need to get help from your senior, your boss. Maybe things will just be better afterwards. So that's the kind of strategy that I'm taking now. And also when it comes to in the tech industry, right, there's this thing called sprint planning. I find this good in terms of really minimizing that potential failure also. When during sprint planning, people actually, all of the developers and data scientists or data analysts, they actually take into account the task that can be broken down as small as possible, so that you can allocate the necessary time required to solve that particular small task. That really, for me, yeah, that's whether you call it a mindset or working methodology, that really help in the tech world, especially when you're trying to delivering milestone by milestone in an agile manner. So some things like this, you just it will help you as and when you progress in your career. And last but not least, I just really want to emphasize the first point that Chen talked about, the mindset. Like taking the failure, taking the I remember when I was in class, I think I didn't cry when I have technical problem, but I actually cried when I have stakeholder problems. And that was like suddenly a realization to me that, oh my gosh, am I going crazy because of my work? Um, I really cried like all night. Like I don't understand why did I get accused of something that I don't intend to do? But I couldn't control myself, and I was thinking that it's my failure, it's my problem. Um, but coming to think of it, using that as an opportunity to grow, understanding that for every tear you drop, it's just gonna make you stronger. That's something that will help you in the long run lah. Now I cry less lah. I'm just
Okay, I see. I hope you are being stronger now, facing stakeholder.
yeah,
Yeah, but
just
I
like
always almost want to cry when I face like any technical issue because, for example, like what Terry mentioned just now, you just cannot log the query. Well, it's not my problem, but just the query cannot be run due to I don't know any issue that happened. And also, I myself also involved in a sprint planning. I mean, uh, in the sprint training, I find it very helpful because during that time, it's time for me to communicate with my team to let them know what is my progress right now, and it's a more comfortable place for me to share if any obstacle I face, any technical issue I face right now, so that when they heard about the difficulty that I face right now, maybe they can just solve it immediately because they are experienced already. So like now I'm just entering the workplace. So of course I have a lot of things that I don't know and I need time to build up my foundation. So here I have a question. Have you ever feel pressure when surrounded by strong technical peers? Because like two of you are not from a computer science background, while when I'm in my workplace, the computer science students they tend to have a very like stronger foundation when compared with me. Yeah. Qianyin, maybe would you like to share first if you face anything?
Yeah, definitely have faced like a lot of like kind of like not really peer pressure, but seeing like your peers are very, very skilled in technical. Because especially when I joined the team, it's like everyone has been, some of them have already have like masters in data science. They have been like also working in the data industry for quite some time. Yeah. I think it's just have to remind yourself that career and life is not a race. You don't compete with each other. Yeah, it's really about um, you have your own. Everyone has their own learning curve, and you just focus on continuously learning and not viewing your colleagues like as competitors, but more of as uh, someone that you can learn from, and not comparing with them. Yeah. I think it's just staying humble and learning from the people around you. Yeah. And I also think that like growth takes time. It doesn't you don't suddenly grow overnight. Yeah, it really takes time, and you don't have to know everything right away. It really takes just have your own pace and continuously learn every day. Just be better than yesterday. Yeah, and just continue to track your progress so that you know that you're on the right track. Yeah, I think at the start it's sometimes it's not easy, especially doing some high level reports that you have to send to like maybe the country manager. And yeah, you definitely feel like, can I really do this? But it's really um, just just reminding yourself that just slow and steady. Take your time to learn. Sometimes maybe if you're not familiar with all these things, maybe you have to spend more hours than others. But I think it's worth it because when you really continue to learn and you upskill yourself, you feel that, oh, you when you look back, actually that thing is not so hard, and when you just started, yeah, and that's when you know that you have grown, yeah, in your technical skills or even your performance reporting skills, yeah.
My take, I love being surrounded by people smarter than me and better than me. I'm sorry, but I really, really love it because that's when I know where my gap is. But one thing I think differently is what I have, they might not have. So I always approach them in a way that I will present what value I can give back to them if they teach me the stuff that I don't know, or if they share with me the stuff that I have gap in, and I obviously know that I want to improve in. So technical skill or non-tech, there's just going to be people who are definitely better than you. You progressed up to principal level, there's still going to be people who knows something you don't know. So, and I love that about, like, when I changed job, right, before when I was in Petronas, I changed to GoTech. I specifically highlighted that I needed a technical manager, someone who is better, who we can challenge, and I can challenge, he can challenge, and it was a right match. The first few months going into the company, I already feel so challenged as I absolutely so loved it. My code review was 10 pages long, and never ever had that before, but I was so happy doing it. And because every line that I read, every suggestion that was given to me, yes, it was painful to take in. It was like, oh my God, after 5 years of working in the technical industry, and I got criticized for this one line of code because it's not following industry standard, but I didn't know. I didn't know. But it's precisely these things that help to upskill me in to become a better, greater data scientist lah, or coder in a sense. So, but along the way, how I try to give back to my peers is also showing them there are some things that I can show, and I can help to upskill a little bit as well. So give and take, let's grow together. So I really like to be a bit more collaborative than viewing it as a competitive space. And I think moving forward, that should be the way to keep yourself sane also. So yeah.
Yeah, I see. I think that we sometimes just need to stop being a perfectionist and accept that everyone will have the space to grow, and that's how we can grow and learn and become a better person than we are yesterday. Yeah, so I think here comes to my last question for two of you. So where do you see this field heading in the next 5 to 10 years?
Can you start
Yes.
first for data analytics?
Yeah.
Okay.
Role?
Yeah. I think the field is, yeah, as I mentioned just now, it's rapidly evolving. That there's like a lot of new things every day. When you open LinkedIn, you see there's like so many new technology, Gen AI, LLM. There's so many different and new things coming up. Yeah, I think I will summarize it into a few points. In the next 5 to 10 years, I foresee that, yeah, there's definitely increased automation and also AI integration in our work. So maybe a lot of the routine tasks like report generation or even some basic analysis may uh, become even more automated. Yeah, since there's more advancements in AI and also automation. And this will definitely free up a lot of time for analysis and analysts to focus on more the high level problem solving as well as decision making. So I would say soft skills will be even more important in the coming years because yeah, technical skills will be the basic, but when there's automation and AI coming in, the need for data analysts will be more towards strategy part, like for example, being able to derive some insights and recommendations for businesses to grow. Yeah, this is something that it's more towards the critical thinking part where it still requires like uh, human to present all these findings to your stakeholders. Yeah. And I think the second part will, yeah, it will be more focused on like predictive and also prescriptive analysis than just doing descriptive analysis, like just focusing on what happened. I think as a data analyst now, it's like you're doing like a lot of analysis for, oh, last time this, like last year, this time this happened. But I think there will definitely be a shift towards more advanced analytics, like more towards the future and also what actions that we can take. Yeah. So, yes, businesses will definitely increase on relying on this data, not just about the past trends, but to make more proactive decisions in the future and also in real time. Yeah. And I think the third point, there will definitely be more data-driven roles. So currently, like in my company, data analysts are actually in like a team called business intelligence. But I do foresee that in the future, even in business development, in marketing, there will be more data roles in there. Like for example, maybe product managers with data specialization, for example. Yeah, because businesses will definitely need more people who can interpret data, can do strategy using data, and also like make decisions based on data. Yeah, and overall the field will be heading towards a more intelligent and so more analytics coming in the future. Yeah, so data will become like a tool to shape the strategy and also drive action in the business.
I think some of the things that Tian Yun answered in the very beginning is already happening. I think maybe data analyst role will be more like data scientists because whatever prescriptive or recommendations based kind of analysis is actually currently what data scientists aim to do at the end of the day. But I do see like automation definitely. So things that your tasks, your mundane tasks that you do as a data scientist or data analyst will automatically be replaced. Even machine learning, right? Even machine learning where you are trying to add features, you are trying to tune your hyperparameters. All these are already being replaced by auto ML these days. So if you, as and when we think about the tasks, the daily tasks that we work on, as soon as you find yourself writing the same code or repeating the process, in 5 to 10 years' time, that's going to be replaced. But as soon as the things that you are thinking is so different every day, that's something that may stay for another 5 to 10 years. So I'll give a very detailed example of what I think every day that is somewhat changing and it's not repetitive is when I deal with the different business problems and I try to kickstart and frame the project. This thing so far is not repetitive. So it goes back to the point Chen Yun was trying to say is like at the end we want to incorporate the business problem and try to bring one level higher to thinking, okay, if I help to solve this problem, is there anything else that can come up? And is there any way that I can improve further your revenue, your reducing your costs? These things will come into play and present you as a greater data scientist because, of course, it might sound like you are a business person now, but what you will have differently is you know better how data would react with the systems that you will be deploying or using. So in 5 to 10 years' time, your daily tasks that it can be it can be repeated now will be replaced with automation tools. Anything that can be set up right now using code to configure into an entire pipeline, entire workflows may also be replaced by low code, no code platforms. And but one thing, so yeah, these things will be replaced, right? Then what happened to us, data engineer, data scientist, data analyst? I think your experience will come into play, whereby you can predict where in the system will fail. And that's when your experience will come to play, and your ability to know how systems usually interact with each other will help you be not so replaceable. I don't think that uh I I might actually be replaced in 2 to 3 years time as a data scientist if I don't continue to upskill myself in this domain where I know how systems work with each other. Then when it comes to one more portion I was thinking is something that is just starting and it hasn't taken us too far yet, is data governance and ethical AI. So these things are less on data science or data analyst role now, but eventually as we progress forward, right? If you are going to build solutions, if you are going to build AI tools, if you're going to build AI solutions and recommendation engines, people are going to question about that portion of things. So if you are the developer who builds it, if you are the scientist who builds it, analyst who builds it, make sure to equip yourself in that area where there's talking about responsible ethical AI, because that's going to continue to be more and more of a topic of everyone's interest in the 5 to 10 years time. So yeah, being able to gel everything together here is if you still want to stay in the tech industry for the next 5 to 10 years, there's no way you cannot keep up with the AI tool, like even no code, low code, no code, right? You have to upskill yourself in that sense. And then the second portion is you have to think about how it interacts with human already, and then how it also brings value to business. So these two things are also something that will help you to continue stay relevant in the tech industry, be it an analyst, scientist, or engineer. So yeah, that's my take now.
Thank you so much, Shenyan and Elaine, for the insightful session. Because as someone who is stepping into the data role, I learned a lot from both of you. Because as like someone who is just going to step into this world, I totally have no idea what's going to happen. Because I'm still lacking so much of experience, but you two already working for like few years. So and you are now in the industry, so for sure you all know better than me and than those who are just fresh graduate. So, and I believe your sharing would be very great to help us in making decisions when choosing our future career. So, all in all, thank you so much for the sharing today. I believe your insight will surely benefit all of the audience. So I think that's a wrap for this episode. So thank you everyone for staying till the end. Until next time.